And we're live.
There we go. We're going to stream
Hey
this.
everyone. Hey, happy to see you all here today. And guys, me as usual, it's Mike Inishev. I'm CEO and founder of Boomerang. And today I have a very, very special guest for you guys. I asked him for 1 year to jump with me on this podcast. And finally I got answer yes from him. I'm very excited, and probably I'm most excited than you right now, but you will be excited as I am at the end of this event. Let me please introduce you to Frankie Fihn, amazing guy, digital agency owner 3 times in his past, very successful, exited, and he is now teaching agencies to just kind of like do a step back from their routine, doing step back from their grind with agency life, and helping them actually to separate work from life, life from work, be happy, and do it as a lifestyle business. I believe Frankie will tell you a little bit more about his approach and what he's teaching. And I'm here today to ask the questions and trying to actually add some probably my inputs from my 12 years of journey when I was running my own digital agency. So Frankie Fihn, guys, your applause, your hands up. And Frankie, you are very welcome here. How are you doing, my friend?
Mike, it's awesome to be here. And obviously, I love all the cool stuff you've built. And we share a lot of similar views. And like I feel like you guys, whoever, is out there listening to this, like you guys are so blessed to be able to have stuff like this. Because, like this stuff didn't exist when we were doing it. There were no books or courses or trainings or masterminds or apps. So we just made mistakes for 10 years. And then eventually you figure it out, almost sometimes by accident. Through sheer will and determination, and then it's a real blessing to be able to share this stuff with other people and help them shortcut their journeys.
Absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely. So, Frankie, first of all, tell me more, please, about your books. You have 3 books written. I read 2 of them, actually, to be transparent. I didn't read the third one, and I will sometime. So, can you please tell briefly what those books about and why people do need to read them?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. So actually, let me just pull them up real quick. 2 seconds here.
Sure.
First one, you actually read them both. I don't have a third, so that's the good news. You're not missing one. First one's called Beyond the Agency Box, and I wrote it really. It's funny. Like a lot of people I know have written books, and they have a lot of ego about it. They're like, "Hey, I'm going to become a best-selling author, and you watch me become famous." I was like, internet marketers is a niche. And agency owners is a niche within a niche. I'm never going to become famous from this book, but if it just helps one person to navigate this crazy agency journey, that is worth it. And so I decided to put all like 17 years of hard lessons into there to hopefully help you guys, figure out what took 10 years to do it in 10 weeks. Second book is called Passive Automated Recurring Income. And it's really what I've been doing to kind of make money for the last 3-4 years, which is really like what I call pimping digital assets. And it comes from like a lot of things where I got involved with a friend and mentor named Matt, who's a giant, brilliant real estate guy. And as I started delving into real estate, I started seeing all the parallels with digital business. And I was like, man, I read all this Robert Kiyosaki stuff, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where he says, you want to make your money from assets. And I thought for like 10, 15 years, well, I'm a digital guy. I don't deal with stocks. I don't deal with companies. I'm not flipping real estate. But I realized that all of those same lessons applied. And so this is like Rich Dad, Poor Dad meets the digital world and showing you how to have assets bring you money instead of you bring you money. And the magic of it is that's when time and income get a divorce. It's when you can make money independent. And as a side effect for me, I'm not saying this will be true of everyone, but I have new sales come in every day. I'm on a 250 day in a row streak of new sales. A lot of them come in while I'm asleep. And that's only because I have digital assets working while I'm not, right? So that's kind of like the lessons I want to show you guys in the book is how to create a machine that almost operates independent of you. I always say like you want the hardest working person in your company to be digital you. So that's kind of let's make the hardest working person digital you. That's kind of the playbook for that.
Yeah, it's very good approach, and today I actually want to talk a little bit more about the second book because it's what actually navigated me to you. When I read this, I decided that I need to reach out to you. I need to do the podcast because we are we have the same statement. We have the same DNA because it's a boomerang. Boomerang, it's something that works autonomously and that helps people to build a passive recurring income source by selling loyalty to local businesses. Not the loyalty right now, but we already grew up to AI agent, complete AI agent that can completely handle all the marketing hustle for local businesses because they are not tech savvy, they don't have marketing skills, and they don't actually want to do it by themselves. They want to delegate this work. They're ready to pay for it. This is a good news for us as a marketers. And when you sell retention tools instead of acquisition tools, you are looking much more smarter than others in the marketplace. You are standing out from the crowd, from the stiff competition, and you are providing the real value that people actually want today. And it's all about recurring revenue and with the long life standing with the client, with open contract, without any cancellation, because it's very, very sticky. So I just want to ask one question. This is really important for me. So we are in 2025, AI agents everywhere, and everyone cares about that AI agents will replace them very, very soon. So why do you think we still need to open digital agency today? Why it's still actual from your perspective?
Well, I actually I've learned this in business that take growing a service business. As you solve one problem, you always create another. And this is always true in business. So, like in the beginning, you're just trying to get clients, and then eventually you figure that out. And now you're trying to make good on promises and how do I actually fulfill on that? And if you do that long enough and you sell and fulfill, eventually you'll have to hire people and you'll have a whole new problem called hiring. And if you get good enough at hiring, you'll have a whole new problem called management problems. And if you get past that, you'll get almost like what I call corporate-y problems. And so there's never a point where you reach where the problems are free. So I hear a lot of this, and this is a prediction. I don't have a crystal ball, but I hear a lot of this. Oh my God, AI is going to replace everything. And it's kind of true. But new industries are born. I was around when the Yellow Pages was the main driver of business when I was younger. And then Google became at some point the top dog. And there was a whole new industry created called SEO. So people, when the Yellow Pages was dying, there was probably people freaking out, but there's a whole new thing that's created. And I have a friend who's done software development for over 30 years. And he said to me, when he first got into software, there was an arms race to create software because he was in the early days when there was no HubSpot, there was no Salesforce, there were no CRMs. And so he was there was a race to build those tools. And he said, then eventually there were 25 tools that did it. And then clients came to him with a different problem. They said, which tool do I pick? Can we hire you as a consultant to tell me which tool we pick? And can you train our staff? Can you get us up to speed? So I feel like the agency game is going to evolve to tools, agents, and consulting primarily. You're probably going to do one of those three things where clients are going to come to you less and say, I need you to run my ads, but they're going to say hey, there's 15 different tools that run ads for me. Which one do I pick? Can you get my staff up to speed? Can you customize it for what we're trying to do? Can you help us set it up? So I don't think it's this big scary thing that everybody does, but it's certainly evolving. And if you're not up to speed on it, you're certainly going to be left behind. I feel like there's two distinct classes of people. If AI is something that you are prompting and you are directing and you are instructing what to do, you're always going to be needed because the strategy part of it is not easy to replace, even with AI. If you're somebody who gets told what to do all day long and somebody else does the problem solving and the figuring it out, you may be seriously in jeopardy with your career because at some point they're going to figure out AI is faster and easier. We just had this, there was a company that, friend of a friend that was resistant to bringing in an AI voice agent to answer the phone. And then they tried it just for after hours and weekends. Hey, don't replace your secretary. And then they realized that they put the training help files into the AI. And because of that, it was instantly up to speed. It was better than the receptionist who was a new person and they were trying to train. And then they realized they got 3 phone calls at the same time. So they had a 5-minute call and 2 others came in and the AI handled all 3 phone calls at the same time. And it's only a matter of time before that receptionist is getting fired, as sad as it is, because the AI can do it better and faster and cheaper. You can train it, get up to speed, train it one time, and it can handle 3 calls at once. And it does it for a fraction of her salary. And most of the people calling the AI couldn't tell that it was AI, right? So it's already that good. So So if you're in the scenario where you're getting told what to do, like you might want to learn some new skills. But having said that, it's all learnable. Even if you're starting at zero right now, it's all learnable, right? So like to me, it's not this big scary thing that it's being painted as, but like there ain't gonna be no yellow pages in 5 years. Like that's just how it
Yes,
is.
exactly. So thank you very much for your take. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my take why
Yeah,
it's
please do.
scary or not scary. And I do believe honestly that's right now it's the best time to start your digital marketing agency exactly right now, because you can see that new AI tools emerging from day to day. Today one, tomorrow two, and this is exponential, going to be a numerous of launches every day. You can just open product hunt and see how many new products launching on daily basis. It's like crazy.
Yeah,
It's it's
nobody
it's
can
it's
keep up.
amazing. The second statement, when I was starting, it was 2008. Do you remember the mortgage problem in the market, the crisis, and all this
Yeah,
stuff? And
of course.
this is when I
Yeah.
started my first agency. I was just completing my first grade of university. I quickly figured out that it's so boring actually for me to learning the law and civil law. It's like lower. It's not what I'm doing. What I want to do by the end of my life. I started my agency, and the entry level was so high to start this business because you have to find the information somewhere. There is no YouTube, there is no books, there is nothing, because internet marketing is still something new, and you can expect that like 80% of your clients even do not have a website at all, and you are building the first one. You are not redesigning, not adding landing page. You are creating from the scratch. They even do not have a logo. They have just a signature, like a
Yeah.
statement on the wall, and that's it. That's all they have. And for me, it was like easy journey in terms of the market. The market was very open at the time, but at the same time, to be able to produce some stuff, you need to know design, you need to know marketing, you need to know coding, and it was really hard to get the information about how to do it right. If you don't have any prior expertise working for Google, working for other big companies at the time,
Yeah.
it was really hard to understand this all. And the second part, when we were growing, it was a big challenge for me to find the teammates that are ready to perform at a needed result, because they're new and you have to train them. And the speed of your company growth was very, very low because of that. Right now, you can run one-man show in one day. You can get all the knowledge. You can train how to work with these AI tools almost by yourself without any additional inputs. Just open ChatGPT, open their knowledge base, watch some YouTube videos, because everything is ready made for you to help you succeed with their tools as many as possible. And the third statement, which is very important for this setup, in 2008 and 2025, our clients, digital marketing agency clients, still do not want to think about the marketing at all.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't matter, we have AI tools, we don't have AI tools, it's our tools as a marketers, it's not tools for them. If you want to try to onboard them by themselves into the AI tool, they're gonna get rid of it because they are already busy. You're baking your favorite pizza, they are cooking like a breakfast for you or dinner for
Yeah.
you, and they do not want to overthink about how to handle marketing things. They're ready to delegate, and nothing changed here for almost like how many 22 years, 17 years so far. It's like the same. And I think this is the reason why it's better to start right now, because you have everything you need. You have just AI tools. It's like a Swiss knife in your hands, and you can just pick tools that fit with your vision, fit with your expertise, and let's go ahead to help businesses thrive with AI tool. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think there's never been a time where it's easier. You were talking there. I had a friend early 2000, and I remember he said to me, his name was Lou, when he was selling websites, and I asked him what he charged for a website, and his answer was $100,000. To me, in 2000, and mind you, like this is before inflation, so this is like probably the equivalent of like $250,000 today. And I asked him how that was going, and he said he had a line of businesses to pay for it, and the reason why was really simple. I see it the same thing with a lot of my crypto friends who made a lot of money, is he got into it really early. And when he was into it really early, what that meant is he had almost no competition. Like as more and more tools came out and it became easier and easier to become a web designer, there's still people who can charge $100,000 for a site, but there's a lot more people charging $500 or $1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 and much smaller, more modest amounts. And part of the reason he was able to do it is because he was just early. Like that was it. Like there was no secret. He got into it before everyone else. Your choices were pay Lou to make a website or nobody. And the cool thing about what you described is AI has simplified your ability to create a lot of things. Like, for example, we're approaching software and apps that I've wanted to develop for like 20 years, but I'm not a programmer. I don't have a team of programmers. And yet there are AI coding tools that have made that now approachable. Things like N8N and Make and Bolt and Windsurf and things like that. And it's like, we can actually make software. We can take an idea to a real thing and even have AI help us refine the instructions to be able to go create it. And to your point, it's wide open, it's early, and there's never been more help and support to make that easy, right? Like we're not at the point now where I can just say, make me an app, but man, we're not like that far either. And as a result of it, it's like what would have taken me 12 months and a team of programmer and, a budget of $400,000 is now something I can make in a weekend or two and have it be like top notch. And because of that, like, for you as somebody who's thinking about getting into this world, like you're entering into a space where AI is so new. You're being compared to cost wise against the cost of a human, not the cost of 25 AI solutions. And I'll tell you why that matters. So I gave you the receptionist an example. She probably makes like $4,000 a month, $50K a year kind of thing. Well, if you got an AI voice answering solution and you sell it for $1,500 a month, you're $2,500 a month cheaper than she is, and your 24/7 coverage, right? Fast forward to 5 years when there's 27 solutions on the market. I'll be surprised if anybody's getting more than like $49 a month for that exact thing. And so there's a time and window where you guys are in this so early. It's like it's the equivalent of like Bitcoin is 80 cents. Just fucking buy some Bitcoin at 80 cents. And you almost can't lose if you get into it early. And that's not going to be true 5 years from now, by the way.
100% agree with you. So while we're talking, it's a wide open window right now with amazing opportunity to jump into this boat. Let's talk a little bit about competition. It means like if it's wide open and if it's easy to join this party right now, we can expect that more and more marketers will appear in the market in the nearly 2 years. So how do you think we need to stand out from the crowd? How do we be unique, and how to get the customers without fighting for, from 1,500s to $49? What's your take on it?
My take is really simple. I see this time and again where a new tool comes out, like you mentioned, like I forget the site you said, but like it keeps you updated on all the AI tools. There's probably been 3 that just came out since we started this conversation. Like that's how fast they're developing them, like they're coming out like constantly. And so I see a lot of people start with tools and then go figure out, how do I go sell the tool? So in our world, it can be something like I got a Go high level account. I got a SaaS thing. How do I go sell it? Or I got an AI chatbot. How do I go sell it? And I always believe that if you want to stand out in the marketplace, it's very old fashioned, but you have to start with people and problems. And as long as you start with people and problems, you'll come up with unique things. So my favorite example is there's a company in the legal space that I've seen around for years and years. They're called Alert Communications. They're $250 million per year, or $250 million, sorry, not million, like $250 million per year, like virtual assistant agency. And all they do is they answer phones for attorneys evenings and weekends when they don't have a receptionist, and they're not even that good. They're not terrible. Obviously they wouldn't exist if they're terrible, but they answer the phone with like Filipino VAs, and they take down the person's contact info and they say, we'll have the attorney call you back in the morning. And like, that's all they do. They like take down contact info and say, we'll call you back in the morning, kind of thing. And, but the reason why so many people use them is because they're solving a problem that nobody else solved. And why a lot of marketers feel this push of competition is they're solving problems that have already been solved 1,000 times. They just assume everybody wants more customers, more leads and stuff like that. And there are so many other problems they have both in the conversion and the retention process. And so what I like to do is start with people and problems. I'll give you a real simple example of how you can create something that's unique. And I call them little 10% differences that are super meaningful. So we got a guy in our mastermind. He decided that he wanted to work with plumbers. So he was a generalist helping like all kinds of businesses around Texas. And he decided, I'm going to be a specialist. And I said, well, tell me your favorite client. Who's the easiest one to help? And he described this plumber. I said, why don't we just do more plumbers like that? And so what he figured out is from talking to the people, in this case, he decided on a plumber, and he told him the problem. The plumber said, I know I'm a plumber, but I don't really like getting covered in shit. I hate getting called to a house from some fat guy just had a smelly turd and I got to go unclog it. And it's disgusting. And he said, is there any way you could get me new construction work? Because I'm still putting in pipes. I'm still being a plumber, but I can wear a suit and do new construction. And so he went to Google Ads and looked, and there's keywords of people looking for new construction kind of work. And he said, yeah, why don't we just run some Google Ads and we'll run them based on the kind of work you're trying to get. And the guy gets, like 2-3 calls a day that are about new construction work. And he loves it because he never has to go touch shit, which is the worst part of being a plumber. Now, if he had started with the tool, Google Ads, hey, we can get you more leads and more customers and more jobs like everyone else. Here's a guy who's thinking, I get covered in shit most of the day. I don't really want more of those jobs. But if you actually listen to him and his problem, he will tell you, if we could get new construction, that would just make my life so much easier. And so now when he goes to a plumber, says, hey, I can get you new construction. You never have to get covered in shit. Plumbers go, what? Say that again? And sign up. So,
or not?
I don't think there's ever a shortage of people and problems. I think the reason why people have such a hard time standing out because they do it backwards. They start with the tool. In this case, Google Ads is the tool. And then they go, how do I go get people to sign up for Google Ads? But if you start with the people and the problem, they'll tell you what they're trying to do with Google Ads. And it just makes your offer so much better because there's going to be 1,000 people doing, Google Ads for plumbers, but they're all just going to say, we get you more jobs. There's only going to be one Mike going, hey, I can get you jobs with no shit. Right. That's a very big distinction. That's very meaningful to them. So to me, the way out of that is really like, and it gets to kind of a core philosophy of mine, which above all, like entrepreneurship is service. It's like, you got to actually help somebody else to get what they want for you to get what you want. And so, decide who you're going to help and then listen to them. Like go, one might call it customer research or client research, but go listen to them, go find out what problems, go find out what they're stuck on and create something that actually helps them to do that. And you'll be amazed that the minute you're not burying them in shit, that's when there's no competition anymore. Like Mike don't have any competition for that.
Yes, and just to add a couple of cents at the top of your statement around built around the problem, built not around the solution. Just for your inspiration, guys, I just want to suggest you one amazing book that I read probably last year that called Fall in Love with the Problem, Not with the Solution, written by Yuri Levin. Yuri Levin is actually the Israeli guy who built Waze. Waze, it's a company that actually help you to commute from point A to point B without additional traffic, trying to find you the best way. Then 3 or 4 years later after the launch, this company was acquired by Google, and this is how Google Maps actually created and appeared in the market. By $12 billion, the road from zero to $12 billion just in 4 years. An amazing book. And Yuri is talking about the same thing. It's like, doesn't matter how do you solving the problem, with AI tool, manual work, jumping on your hands. It's up to you. The main thing is to solve the problem. This is what people want, and this is what people are ready to pay for, basically. And highly recommend to take a look at this book at the time. Very inspirational. And my next question: when it comes to competition back, you told that everyone is thinking to start from the tool and offer people get more clients, because get more clients, it's something people really want. But we know both. I'm sure that you also stand for retention first. What do you think about the popularity and the real demand for acquisition and retention? What is more important right now nowadays?
Well, you know this, and obviously I know you're leading me into this a little bit, but retention is far more important than actually getting new people. And the more you actually have retention in order, it dramatically changes your ability to go get new people. So I'll give you, kind of like a real example, and then just kind of illustrate it with numbers. But I didn't have some like stroke of genius about this. I was talking to a successful attorney when I got started my second agency. It was a guy in Northern California named David. And he was telling me how he got all his business by referrals. And he had what I would call a referral device, which is he had these little business cards he printed out, and it said, hey, normally the consultation is $275, but because you're a friend of Mike, this is a VIP pass, you get it for free. And so he would give them out to his clients, and his clients would go promote them for him because they looked good giving away their free consultation thing. And it created a virality to his business where it was just like, and so I said to him, I said, hey, David, if I don't give this to any of your competition, is there any way you would let me use this for my clients? And he went, yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Use it. It's a cool little nifty thing. And so I had a couple of clients. I was in my early days. I had maybe like 10 to 20 clients. And all of a sudden I gave all of them this little business card, their own version. I went to Vistaprint, printed it out, and gave it to them. And I wasn't like really thinking about what I was doing. I just thought it was a cool little nifty idea that would be valuable. But what happened is, anytime I was running Facebook ads, we would get a client, that client would turn into two. And it like instantly doubled the value of my Facebook ad service, because instead of saying, I'll get you a client, it's like, I'll get you a client and I'll turn that client into a referral for you. And sometimes that referral will turn into another referral. And so it started to like multiply their business in geometric ways. So this could sort of a fictitious example, but I think when you see it with numbers, it really illustrates the point. My ex used to love Groupon. So like Groupon used to be a really big thing back in the day where a lot of restaurants would use it to try and get you in the door. So they'd offer some kind of discount through Groupon. Come try our restaurant. By the way, we tried a lot of mediocre restaurants that had Groupon. That's kind of what happened. But I remember I can't even think of one single one of those restaurants that I went back to for a second visit. So maybe like every now and then, but for the most part, like you just take the Groupon, you try a mediocre restaurant, you never come back, right? So let's say like an average dinner for two at a relatively decent place. Let's call it $100 for the sake of an easy number. Obviously there's some places you can get cheaper and stuff like that, but just for the sake of easy numbers, let's say there's a restaurant and they're running Instagram ads, which is a thing that like a lot of restaurants do for real. And they're running Instagram ads, and every time they spend $100, they get somebody to come into the restaurant and spend $100 on a meal. Well, they're going to have a really, really hard time being able to run ads long-term in that model, because they're just breaking even to get people in the door, hoping that some of them come back. Now, like, let's say they use something like Boomerang or a referral device or something to capture some of those people, and they're able to get somebody on a loyalty program where they come once a week instead of one time once. And now, instead of spending $100 once, they're spending $100 every week. Well, that's $5,200 per year. Well, if you have two restaurants, one spending $100 to make $100 and one spending $100 to break even on the first one, then get you in a loyalty program and make $5,100 in sales after the fact, and that's only the first year, they're probably going to keep you year 2 and year 3 and year 4 and year 5. So they're not just getting $5,000. My question is, who's going to be able to go spend more money on ads? And the answer is pretty obvious. And so most businesses, the reason why most agencies obsess about getting new people is because if you talk to 100 business owners and say, what do you want? They'll tell you, I need new people in the door. And it's not that they're lying to you. It's just that they believe it. They believe they've done everything they can to keep people coming back. And now it's just a matter of getting new people in the front door. But if you really understand, all they're really after is new money, not necessarily new people. Like if the same person comes back every week in the restaurant and gives you a new $100, that's just as good as a stranger giving you $100. Like it spends the same at the bank, right? And it's also like tactically, strategically a lot easier to do. And so like, I'm not telling you guys not to run cold ads or do SEO campaigns, but I'm telling you, if you combine it with like a loyalty program and or a referral device, your stuff gets exponentially more valuable, because now instead of spending $100 to get one person one time to give you $100, you're turning that into a $5,200 a year person. and you'll be able to run ads continuously, and those clients will love you. And it just stems from the idea of, if clients knew what their real problem was, they would solve it. What they think their problem is and what it actually is are different things. And if you understand as an expert that those are two different things, that they think they need new people, and what they really need is to retain people and fix their back end, which gives them unlimited ability to spend on the front end. Like imagine there's two agencies. They both have $1,000 a month service. One keeps one for 3 months. One keeps the average person for 3 years and gets a referral out of that person. Well, one guy's going to make $3,000 over the lifetime of that client. The other person's going to make $36,000, and they're going to get another person to give them $36,000. They're going to make $72,000. Who's going to be able to spend more on ads? And so it's presented as if it's just an advertising problem. And I think where it works best is when you use them together. Like, yes, advertise your business. Don't just depend on loyalty and referrals. But man, if you don't put those two things together, it's real hard to make ads work at scale. It's real hard to make ads work if you don't have, or SEO or whatever it is you're trying to do, if you don't have a way to keep them or multiply them on the back end. And if you do, you get unlimited ability to spend. So to me, getting new people is as easy as going to fucking Google and Facebook and giving them your credit card. Retention and keeping people is like much more of an art. And so I would say it's like the far more important of the two. And for those of you guys who have a service, like think about how you can combine those things. You'll make your service exponentially more valuable. Shout out to Mike, who's got obviously Boomerang as one of the easy to install tools. Like install a loyalty program and then do your SEO and some ads, and watch, like your whole offer will get exponentially more valuable because the people will spend more money more often with them. So I'll get off my soapbox on that one. But.
Amazing take. Thank you very much, buddy. I just want to add one point that my best metaphor about running ads without any retention tools in the place, it's like pulling the water in leaky bucket. It's best explanation on what's happening when you do so. And just only one thing that you can expect from this action is to just see how it water pulling out from this bucket, and that's it. It's unfortunately the only one case and only one result that you can expect. But okay, so you say that it's important, and my knowledge and my expertise says that everyone knows it right now, but no one does it properly. So why do you think so? Why do you still retention is underestimated thing, and why people appreciate acquisition first and pay attention more to acquisition first? What's your opinion?
Well, I think like there's a false belief by most businesses that they've done everything they can possibly do to get referrals and to get repeat business and to get upsells and cross sells and things like that. And I invented a term that I came up with after working with a lot of the top attorneys. So I got a chance to work with broke, struggling attorneys. And then years later, I got to work with the top guys who are like the biggest spenders in the market, the guys on the billboards and on TV. And I started to notice that the top guys had referral systems for everything. Like there were like 10,000 little things they did to encourage repeat business. So like I'm talking little shit. Like one guy had stickers he would put on every mailing that said, "We love referrals. Don't forget to send us referrals." And he put every time they mailed you some shit, which if you work with an attorney is a lot, you're gonna get a lot of paperwork. Every single mailing reminded you, refer us, right? Like, and in their case, obviously repeat business is a little tricky because they're dealing with like car accidents and stuff like that. But they were reminding people again and again and again. And I think most businesses falsely believe in something that I call the referral or retention fairy, which they believe just do a good job and they will refer on their own. And that don't exist in the real world. I'm not saying it never happens, by the way, but it's slow and it's unpredictable. The flip side of that is if you give people tools and you remind them, and I'll give you the smallest real life example. So my wife and I, we plan a date night every Friday. We get a babysitter for the kids and we go do some shit, right? And we do that every Friday. And I've been to 50, 100 restaurants here. I've tried it's like sushi, pasta, you name it, whatever you can get here in Mexico. I've tried it. And one of the interesting things is none of the restaurants we've ever been to do anything at all on purpose to get you to come back, except one guy. There's a place called Chinbao. They have these Asian steamy buns. And he just had a little offer. He said, I forget what it was. Like, you get a free dessert if you join my WhatsApp list. And he texts me and he says, hey, we got a shipment of shiitake mushrooms. So I made a bunch of mushroom buns. Hey, I got some special shipment or whatever. I'm making ramen today. I made a ramen from scratch. I've been brewing it all morning. You got to come try this. Well, unsurprisingly, I've tried his food like 100 times more because he did something to remind me that he exists. And so, like, if you take that mentality of the average restaurant, which is indicative of every business, they assume, hey, we made you good food. If you like it, hope you all come back. And there's only one guy who goes, I have to market and advertise to people and let them know I exist. And I have stuff and I have specials and I got a live band tonight and there's reasons you should come back. And so I think most businesses just falsely believe we've done everything we can do. And they don't realize the actual most important person to market to is your existing people. I'll give you a real life example of how powerful this is. I wrote about it in my first book. I have a friend, David, who, he's a serial entrepreneur who lives in LA and he buys businesses and he does shit to them and he goes and sells them. So he buys a roofing business. It took 3 months to close and get through the paperwork and the due diligence. It's a roofing business. It closes March of 2020. If you guys don't remember, the world went ape shit March of 2020, all of a sudden lockdowns. Yes. So he bought a business that was cash flowing $40K a month profit, right? Like it was doing like 150, but it was a roofing business that was doing like $40K a month net profit. The second he took it over, it was all of a sudden like losing 35 grand a month. And so he said to me, Frankie, we're going to have to give this back to the bank. Like, I'm fucked here. This was supposed to be making me $40K a month, not costing me $40K a month. And he said the magic line that all business owners do. He said, we need more new people. Now, I've learned that ain't true. So, and I also know it takes a lot longer to get new people to come to your establishment. And it can be expensive. So I asked him, do you have a customer list of people? And he sent me, and like a couple hours later, he sent me a picture of a back room that was full with boxes and boxes and boxes of invoices. So I was like, everybody who's ever given a credit card in the 17-year history of this roofing company is in a box in a room and they're not doing anything with it. And I said, is there any chance you can get that turned into an Excel sheet so I can use it? I want everybody's contact info in there. He said, yes. Took a week. His receptionist had to like plow through it. By the way, in the AI world, you could actually get AI like with pictures and stuff to do that for you, but we didn't have ChatGPT in March of 2020. So took a week and I sent a couple mailings to that list. And they were stupid simple. They said something like, hey, it's your roofer. I know we haven't talked in a long time, but man, we really appreciate you all. I don't know if you got any leaks or you got any friends and family that putting off any leaks, but if you do, I'd love to come take a look at your roof and help you like I did before. So I don't talk to David for like 6 more months because he's a serial entrepreneur. He's super busy. He was hanging with Floyd Mayweather when I actually talked to him next. He was like in Las Vegas actually hanging with, and so I messaged him. I was like, dude, what happened with the roofing business? Oh, and he goes, oh, I forgot to tell you, but we made a couple $100,000 from those emails you sent. And we were able to stay afloat, and that got me out of, the worst of the lockdown period. Now we're good again. My roofing company's making money. And so the most underutilized asset in almost every business is their customer list. They just assume customers know we exist. They know what we do. So they'll come back. And I remember the first time I ran this for an attorney and just like ran, what you would call like a loyalty campaign or a referral campaign. The first referral he got, the first one we sent it out, he asked the person, why didn't you ever send me anybody before? And he said, because I didn't know you wanted referrals. I thought you were so busy that you didn't need any more business. And so we just assume that like the hope and pray, they know I exist method works. And like hope and pray ain't a fucking strategy, just so you know, like not in business anyway. Like if you want to use that in your religious and your personal life, go for it. But you need systems and strategies and tools, and like you need to contact people and let them know you exist. And you got buns and you got a new roofing offer, and there's a fucking reason you should come back. And so I don't know. I think most businesses just think we're doing everything we can do. So the only solution is new people. But the problem with it is new people are like 6 times as expensive and 6 times as hard, right? And it's really the new money they're after, not necessarily new people.
Well, man, I appreciate your your input and why I love actually to talking to you, because you have a lot of cases and you can operate with them all the time, which is much more interesting to listen instead of just simple statements. It's much better. Thank you so much for that. If you don't mind, I want to do my take on what you said.
Yeah,
And
please do.
just before yesterday, I was visited Apple shit. Before yesterday, I was visited one potential customer here in downtown LA. It was a burger location, very small one, located in the skyscraper on the third floor, on the first floor, across the other locations. It's like food hall of 10 venues in one place, 10 businesses in one venue. And I was referred to him by my friend. I'm not actually going to sell to clients something, because I'm managing the teams, I teaching agencies how to do so, writing some courses, filming some stuff for them to help them succeed with this product by reselling. But I decided that I need to take a look at that, and for me it was like a challenge. I want to see, I want to listen, and I want to learn from my potential client. When I visited, it's like a game. 7 people working for him. They're doing 42 grants in total every month. I can expect like 10 grants as a net revenue, as a net profit for them, not more, because it's like low margin business in general. And I asked them, so what do you do with the marketing? Oh, I doing great in my marketing. I have Square, and I connected Square loyalty for $45 a month. I'm doing what I can. I said, that's it. Probably you have some promotions. Probably you notify your customers. How do you chat with them? How do you stay in touch? Well, man, I already answered you. I pay $45 to Square loyalty. What do
Right.
you
Yeah.
want from me more? And that's it. I said, okay, can we go to the back office to check your Square backend? He said, okay, well, let's go. Let's grab some soda and visit my back office. We opened the dashboard. And you know what? From 2020, from March, probably the same time when your friend buying the roofing company that you say, he has 56,000 users in the CRM and 5.6 thousand signed up for loyalty, just 10%. But that's huge. 5.6 thousand contact details, phone numbers, and emails. I said, have you ever tried to send them something about your existence, that you still working, you still, making burgers for them? He said, no. How to do that? Is it possible with Square loyalty? And this is crazy. And I mean, right now, everyone has on the market any kind of loyalty programs in the place. I'm talking about restaurants, beauty salons, and they usually tend to activate some stupid upsell tool from the POS, because POS, it's a not retention platform. POS is charging and generating money from you from transactions, right?
Yeah.
It's their business. Why they are offering loyalty? Because you know that you need it. You do not know how it should work. And for them, it's like low-hanging fruit, how to get more money from you, not more. And it doesn't work, because you collecting the data points, you collected customer details, you do not do nothing with them, and you are not leveraging your tool. And you are actually sitting on the golden mine. When you have 56,000 people and 5.6 contact details, it's a golden mine. You just need to work with them. And this is why we built our AI agent right now. We are not a loyalty program in general. We are mostly AI agent, Frankie. I just want to update you with our latest developments. And so what we figured out, that giving people retention tools is giving them nothing, because they're going to do nothing with them. They're lazy, they're not marketers, and they're busy. It's completely fine. And so what we invented right now, it's like, we name it Richie AI. This is the guy that connected to your POS, connected to your existing loyalty. We are not replacing, we are staying at the top of that. We are learning from all the data. We're seeing how often people visit, what they buy, what their preferences, and so on and so forth. We can kind of predict the next visit with 92% of accuracy, and we can remind them one day before, kindly, hyper-personalized, like, this is your $5 off coupon. Just visit us, try our sushi. No, not at all. We are saying, Frankie, it seems like tomorrow you're gonna grab your favorite coffee in our shop. Would you mind to try a bagel? Because it's a best fit based on our customers. What do you think about it? We are waiting for you. We missed you. And this is how it works. And then when we send this reminder, we are setting up the conversion window of 48 hours. If person gonna visit in this 48 hours, we're gonna track conversion, and we're gonna connect and chat with these people the same way in the future. But if you don't, we track false, we send this data back to the AI will learn and try to communicate with you another way, another time, with different angle, with different offer, trying to adapt exactly for your preferences and making sure you're going to visit an expected time. And this is how actually Richie, it's not the general blast. It's not the SMS blast with $5 of coupon. It's like a AI agent that's going to reach out to each and every customer in your base, like one-on-one with the friends, knowing what they want and when they want to see that. And this is, again, the main statement, the main takeaway that I can get from your speech right now is that loyalty is not about rewards. It's not about the points. It's about staying at the top of the mind. Like this guy from Mexico who running a restaurant right now and saying sharing some new updates with you.
Yeah, he's giving me a reason.
Yes. Because, a lot of places around you, a lot of offers you can get every day. But the most important thing is to be visible all the time, to stay at the top of the mind. This is the game of the marketing. This is the main challenge. Yeah. And I can completely legitimize all the local business actions right now. They're busy. This is why they don't do nothing in that direction. No guilty, actually. No.
Yeah, and you said something really smart, by the way, which is they're not marketers. So, just because it's obvious to you that you should do some marketing doesn't mean it's obvious to them, right?
Yes, exactly. And I mean, just only one simple thing that you can do right now, you can help them because it's low-hanging fruit. They all are sitting on golden mines. You can visit them and just leverage what they have right now. It's not just a replacement, not just reinventing the wheel. You're just helping them improve what they already have. That's it, and get more money without ad spend. About the ad spend, ad spend, it's actually also a tricky thing because as I saw by the last 7 years, I did my math, it's growth by 874% if we're talking about CPM on Facebook. Can you imagine 8 times?
Yeah, and as a side effect, can I just tell a quick little story? I mentioned this earlier to a friend. I have friends who got into Google Ads when it was 5 cents a click. And so they would run ads. There were a lot of internet marketers. They would run ads that say make money online course. So you got somebody looking to spend money on a make money online course. They click your thing for 5 cents. If you got a $99 training course or whatever, you can spend 1,000 clicks. That's somebody who's actually looking for your solution. Convert only one person. It cost you $50 to make 100. You just doubled your money. You can do that all day long. That all works until now. That same click in Google is probably $18.50 a click. And so when it's $18.50 a click, you got to have a lot more back end and system in place to be able to monetize that $18.50, and your conversions have to be a lot tighter. So to your point, it's as the ad costs go up, you got to get more out of what you have.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think right now acquisition for the majority of local businesses doesn't make any sense nowadays. And they have to think about another angles and other ways how to get new clients. And we're not talking about improving the quality of the work. It should be in the place. If you cannot, create and make an amazing breakfast or amazing dinner, no one will visit you. It doesn't matter the loyalty, the marketing, and all other stuff. You have to do your work beautiful. This is a reason why you open at your location, right?
Yeah.
But it's not everything you need to do. It's not just a one thing that you need to focus on and forget about a lot of stuff. Other stuff it's also needed right now to be successful in the place. So what do you think would be in the next, I'm not talking about 5 years, I'm talking about 2 years in terms of customer communication, how it should be evolutionized? What should be the next 2 years in between of businesses and customers?
Well, I mean, this is just talking for me. I have a really simple formula. A lot of times, because I work with a lot of people in a lot of different industries, local businesses, e-commerce, online businesses, coaching, consultant, in every fucking flavor you can possibly imagine, from the plumber to the spiritual astrologist, you name it. I've seen it. I've had a finger or help somebody to succeed in it. And one of the first questions people always ask me is how should I go market myself? And I think a better question to ask is, where is your ideal customer already? To me, it's a different answer for different people, but it's the same question. So somebody says to me, if they say to me, I want to meet a golfer, I'm going to say, let's go to the golf course. If they say, I want to meet a hot nurse, I'm going to say, well, let's go to the hospital because that's where all the nurses are. If they say I want to meet a stripper, I'm going to say, well, let's go to the strip club or to the Coke dealer because that's where the strippers hang out, right? And so to me, if you're trying to reach your customer, I don't think there's any more place they're more active than their phone. I go to the park with my kids and like this is half the people there. They're just like, so like if I'm building a loyalty program and things like that, like I'm gearing it towards the phone. If I'm building a retention system, if I'm building promotions, they're geared towards the phone. That is not because I'm married to the phone. That's just where they are now. That may change in 2 years. Like, I wouldn't have imagined growing up that every single person would carry the internet in their pocket and have 24/7 access. I mean, we left the house as kids and you didn't know where we were for like 12 hours. And mom would be like, just come back at dinner time. Okay, mom, I'll see you tonight. And that's how it was, right? So that may evolve in 5 or 10 years. Like, who knows what it'll be then. But like, to me, just go where they are. And if they're on their phone, that's where you need to reach them.
Amazing take. And if you don't mind my take, it's that in the next 2 years, it should be automated. And the main question for me, as for the startup founder here, who would be the first person who's going to automate all that stuff for the businesses? Because they never did it before. They are not doing right now. They will never do it by themselves in the future. But it should be in the place. It's an open opportunity, and someone gonna automate it, gonna handle it, understand how to do it properly, and just get the market. Take over the market.
Just to relate to what you said earlier, that's what I meant when I said, AI is not the end of everything. You won't have a traditional agency in terms of like, give me $2,000 a month for Facebook ads or SEO or whatever, but you'll still be building tools. They still don't know how to put all that together. Like you just described, like, your whole promotion system, right? Like, okay, we can build a tool, but if you don't have promotions and it doesn't run intelligently, nobody's going to come back. So there's still somebody who has to know how to put that together.
Absolutely. And 2 things that I want to add to that. First of all, guys, I highly recommend to read Frankie's books. And in terms of where to find the right ICP, he said amazingly in one of his books, it's like, if you want to find the shoe sellers, and if you want to find the shoe sellers, find the person who already has 100 pairs in the stock, because they have to sell something, right? It means they have a budget to sell something. You need to find people who are already thinking about retention, who are already thinking about building relationships with the customers. If they are, opposite from it, do not try to offer them, because it's not your fight to change their mind. Because, they organically, at the time they will change their mind, because it's no other way how to survive in the market. But it's better to find like low-hanging fruits and find the customers who already do it, but do it poorly. Like I said, this burger shop, they has like 5.6 thousand customers and do nothing with them. They're not leveraging what they have. This is low-hanging fruit. You just need to reach out to them and say, hey, let's make money from them. That's the game. That's all the game. And the second point that I wanted to add, because we have like less than 10 minutes and I want to have at least 5 for Q&A, the main and most important thing in terms of retention for agency, it's proving your results. Because when you're selling, doesn't matter what, client will come to you at the end of the month, will ask for the report. And if you will not be able to prove all the numbers with revenue related to your effort, you will be fired. Doesn't matter AI, not AI, just your manual work, your dancing for the client. You need to connect your efforts to the money. And with ads, it's really hard to do. If we're talking about local business, for e-commerce, it's fine. Attribution is all the time here. You can check, UTM links and provide the reports. But with local market, it's really hard to connect all your ad spent on meta ads and real revenue that generated exactly because of you. And let me show you one more thing. I think it's really important to share, to show how our AI think it actually looks like in terms of the numbers. Let me share this screen for a second. All right. Yeah, it should be visible now. So in terms of proving the numbers, client will pay you forever if you can say that you pay me $1 and I'm printing you back 5. it's like no reason to cancel this contract anytime, right? Because you're actually the cash cow for this exact business. So behind this dashboard, you can expect one coffee shop chain, Red Leaf Coffee, of 9 venues, just 9 venues across states and Canada. And we connected our AI tool, Richie, to them to leverage their customer base. They already play on Toast, point of sale system. They already have loyalty program in the place based on Toast. And what we did, we connected Richie AI to the company on May 1st this year. You can see it here. Then for the 1 month, it was the learning phase. We did nothing. Why you see 2 charts here? Because first of all, we took all the customer base and divided half by half, 50 to 50%, to make this experiment transparent for both parties, for us and for the company itself. With cohort A, we did nothing. We do not reach out to people. We do not send them messages, reminders. And with cohort B, we are working actively with our push reminders, personalization, and all other stuff. The learning phase ended up at June 1st when we activated the AI part. And as you can see, the charts are going different way. The category A going the same way, flat, and the category B is growing up. It's because of communication only. And you need to know that we are not offering $5 off coupon. We are not overselling the promotions. We are not offering you 50% off for the next visit. We just stand at the top of the mind, remind you about upcoming visit at the right time with the right message, with the right personalization, and kind of upselling you with some cross sells. We're analyzing all the data from other customers, understanding what people tend to buy with your favorite Dr. Pepper, for example, and kind of suggest you the great fit for what you already tend to buy. This is how it works. And when it comes to the revenue, you can see that revenue goes up as well as the number of transactions a day. This is the total revenue generated by cohort B and in comparison with cohort A. And this is the total difference in between of 2 cohorts. And you can see additionally, we generated $284,000 from nothing.
Yeah.
Without any ad spend for just, you can imagine, from June 1st for the summer, for 3 months, 3.5 so far. It's September 18th today. I mean, that's what actually businesses want from you. You're outsourcing the whole problem. You're not delivering just a part. You're outsourcing the whole problem and solving with the solution. You're automated the big pain for them, because when it comes to chatting with clients, local businesses and any businesses, they don't know what to send, when to send, and for whom they need to send. In this case, you are even do not need to think about it. Everything works on autopilot. And the most and foremost important thing, you can prove your numbers in the dashboard. Even, when you have a great numbers, you do not even need to report. You're just sending the link and get it and be paid again. And get the renewal for the next month and next month and next month and next. So that's what I wanted to share, because I think it's the most important part. And guys, if you want to try this product, if you want to take a look at that, I highly recommend to get Frankie's affiliate link to get 20% off for any first payment, for quarterly, monthly, annual payment. It doesn't matter. So we're going to provide you with the link right after this webinar. We're going to send it to your emails. Please stay in touch. If you want to receive it, you can also visit Frankie's website. I think it will be posted very soon. And that's it. What do you think, Frankie?
I like it a lot. I've said you mentioned the ad costs are going up. If you don't have a way to get more out of what you got, you won't be able to run ads for very long. So to me, it's not an either or. Those things go together, and you're doing it in such a simple way, which is like, hey, do you want to get a bagel with your coffee? And a lot of times when businesses make offers, they think give discounts, and there's a lot of ways to add value rather than take away price. Like, we got a guy in the dental space who just he went on Cameo and found a famous local soccer/football player, depending on what part of the world you're in and how you call that. And instead of saying, hey, it's $20 off, they went, hey, we got the famous footballer who'll make you a custom video if you come take this special right now. But we only got so many of them because, he's famous. He can't make that many videos. So first 3 people who take this offer, now we've managed to increase the price, not take away, the value and stuff like that. And so I'm glad you brought up that point, because it's not like we always have to make stuff cheaper to get people in the door.
Exactly. People ready to pay for the good stuff. People ready to pay, and people ready to pay for what they remind about. That's actually the game. So, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free, because we have just a couple of minutes before we go offline. But by the way, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out to Frankie. I think we will be happy to answer and handle all these questions right after this live. So, Frankie, your takeaway from this conversation.
Well, firstly, I mean, what you described with your AI promotion stuff, I know you told me about it before, but that is next level cool. And that's really where I see the future of AI is, rather than, like I said, when you can figure out the strategy behind it. So in your case, figuring out what promotions to run and where. And again, this may sound like basic stuff to people in our room, where like, hey, if you got, a coffee shop, you have to tell people you exist and you have to give them a reason to come back. And yet in reality, most businesses go, I don't know what I would say, because in their mind, they do the same thing. And the businesses that do this the best, which are often the ones in my mind who are the least deserving, are like fast food restaurants. Like if you think about McDonald's, you ain't ever driven by a McDonald's in your entire fucking life without seeing some kind of offer or special on the sign. We got 2 McDoohickeys for $2.99. The McRib is back. Everyone go fucking crazy. And they're constantly giving you reasons to come back. And they're constantly giving you reasons to come back. And there's always something new on that sign when you drive by. And I'm old enough to remember when they would mail coupons and things like that. And they're always giving you a reason to come back. That is true of any business. That ain't just a McDonald's thing. It's just so few businesses spend time to create those reasons. But that is also your opportunity, because they don't know how to do that without you. And by the way, if you ever get a chance, you've dropped some good books. Bill Glazer, who's Dan Kennedy's old partner, has a book called Outrageous Advertising that's outrageously effective. And he describes essentially his process of marketing to his existing customers at a menswear store. And he, like, all the different ways he would invent crazy reasons to get people to come back to his menswear store, thereby 10xing the profitability for every customer they got. And really it's a creativity issue, not a practical. And part of the reason is a lot of these businesses think, well, like I'm a plumber, I do the same thing every day. And so, or I'm a restaurant, we make the same food every day. So they're not that creative in coming up with reasons to get people in the door. But we've mentioned a lot of restaurant examples, but there's endless reasons that you can invite people back, right? We got a live band tonight. We got a special coffee beans we just imported. We just made some fresh made everything bagels. I want you to come try one if you've never had one before. And if you had them before, I'm going to give you a special on 3 of them or whatever. Is giving them reasons to actually come back. And a lot of times people think that you'll burn out your customers in doing so. But if you actually have cool stuff and it's genuinely valuable, every single offer you make is a value enhancement. Like nobody looks at McDonald's and goes, oh my God, they're making an offer again. They're trying to sell me McDonald's. I'm never going there. The opposite. People go there all the fucking time, right? So,
yes.
This is your opportunity. I'm telling you, there is no more correlated metric in business that I found. One of those hidden metrics. You want to see how much money you make? I'll ask you, how many offers did you make? How much money did you make? How many offers did you make? Those things almost go together. When I find people who I know some YouTube creators and stuff that have hundreds of thousands of followers that are broke, they almost always make 0 offers. They don't tell anybody they have anything for sale. They don't tell them they can buy stuff. You look at a company like McDonald's, part of the reason they're the most successful restaurant franchise on earth, they make more offers than anybody, or Subway with those years with the $5 footlongs, $5, like all that kind of stuff is like they're making offers. And so this is your opportunity to come in and help businesses make more offers to the people they want to do more business with. And to your point, there's a tactical, practical way of doing that, like by going, hey, we miss you. We want you back. You're cool. You're important to us. You're valued. You matter. That's why I've been making everything bagels all morning, to try and seduce you into coming back and trying one, right? Like, and businesses are not going to do this on their own. And to Mike's point, like, man, you can take this next level and you can automate it and do it with tools and with machine learning. And like, that's just straight up fucking gangster to me. So I don't know if straight up gangster is like the official term, but it's my term.
Well, I think it's an amazing final final take from you, man. And I have nothing to add at the top of that. I just can confirm and cite, honor each of word that you said. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us for this conversation. It was fun. It was cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate your time, Frankie. Happy to chat with you. Happy, and I wish to see you live in Miami this October. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.